Now we're going to talk about the search tools. So we have two search tools. One, as we talked about, is for anything continuous. That means it spans the entire area of the wall. This is your drywall and your sheathing and your cladding. Method two is for non-continuous medium. That's going to be anything where thermal bridging occurs, like your framing and insulation. Search tool one is very straightforward. You select the category, either air, this is air films or air spaces, insulation, structural materials, sheathing materials, cladding materials, metal siding, roofing, and interior finish. So for example, if I click interior finish and search for gypsum board, it gives me this box here to type in the thickness. So I'm going to type 0.5 inches, that's half-inch drywall, and it tells me the R value is 0.45. If I want to save that to a component, rather than go type it in manually, I can just send it up here to component number 2. And all I have to do is type component 2, save. So what it did is it copied the description of whatever I searched for and the R value and pasted those up here. Let's search for sheathing, for example. Let's pretend I have 7/16 inch plywood sheathing. So I'm going to select the first category, which is sheathing, softwood plywood. Inches, I'm going to type equals 7/16. That's how I convert inches as a fraction into a decimal. And I want to save that to component 4. Oops, 4. And click save. So sheathing materials, softwood plywood has been saved to component 4. Now let's go to search tool number 2, searching for non-continuous medium. So we have 5 options. Walls, vaulted or flat ceilings, floors, attics or scissor ceilings, and headers or the joist space. So let's start with walls. I need to just choose 3 things from this menu. Step 1, choose my material of the framing. Step 2, define the dimensions of the framing. And then step 3, define the insulation. Once I do all of those, I'm going to see an R value populate over here, which I can then save to a component by typing the component number and pressing save here. Let's pretend we have a 2x8 wall at 24 inch on center spacing with R28 bats. So I'm going to say softwood. If I don't know the wall construction, I usually choose softwood. I have 2x8 framing at 24 inch on center. I'm going to choose bats. And I don't quite see, oh, there we go, R28. So the net thermal resistance of this component, which is studs and insulation together, right? This thermal bridging component of studs and insulation is 22.79. So I'm going to save that to component 3. I just remember that 3 is where my framing and insulation lives, and press save. So it's got the description here, the framing, the spacing, the insulation, as well as the R value over here. So that is how you use these 2 search tools to populate this table. And remember, you can also use these tables on the right to find your R values for common components.